Science Q&A. Students, during our last lecture, we did till the modern method of irrigation. We saw how modern method can help a farmer in reducing wastage of water, and at the same time it can send water to a longer distance so that more and more crop can be irrigated at the same time. So today we are starting with topic crop protection. Students, the time when our crop is standing in the field, it's almost ready to take the harvest. It's almost ready to take the grain out of it. At that time, many undesirable agents can attack our crop plant. One of them are weeds. Now, weeds are undesirable plant that you have not planted, that grow naturally along with the crop plant, and they share nutrition with your crop plant. And these plants are known as weeds. So crop has to be protected from these undesirable plants. Removal of these undesirable plants from your crop plant is known as weeding. Now these are some common example of weeds. First one being the argemone. It is also known as prickly poppy. Second is the oxalis. It's very common. You can see it anywhere, especially during the monsoon. Third one being the chenopodium. Now, why is weeding necessary? These plants are also green. They can also give oxygen. They are also doing photosynthesis. So, why is there a need of taking out these plants from the crop plant? So the simple solution to this is that weed compete with the crop plant. The plant that you have planted, they are competing with the crop plant for water, nutrient, space and light. That means whatever nutrient you are providing to your crop plant is getting shared by these weeds also. And this is affecting them negatively by reducing the growth of the crop plant. That means what we have grown, we are not going to get the specific or the enough yield out of it. Many times the crop plant that we are growing is consisting of the fodder. And in that case, if these weeds are toxic, then they can affect the animal as well as the human. That means if the weeds are toxic and if they have cut down with your harvested plant, that means toxic will be mixed up with the fodder or the harvest. So it is necessary to take out the weed from the crop plant. And the process of removal of weed from the crop plant is known as the weeding. Now coming to how is weeding done? What are the popular methods of weeding? Along with what equipment can be used? So, weeding can be done manually. This is the easiest or the simplest way if the field size is small. It can be manually taken out from the field, also known as the physical removal of the weeds. So the physical removal involves the uprooting of the weed, that means taking it out from the soil or cutting it down very close to the ground. But this practice you need to do time to time, because if you are not uprooting a weed from the root, it will grow again and weeding has to be done again and again. So weeding manually can be done with the help of a khurpi or a seed drill. Both can be used for doing manual removal of the weeds. For a large field, tilling can be done. Tilling is done before the sowing of crop. This helps in uprooting the weeds. They are kept in the field in the sunlight for a day or two, and in this way they get dried and they get killed. So they are mixed up with the soil, but now they are of no harm. Additionally, specific chemicals can also be used, named as weedicide. So specific chemical can also be used to kill these weeds specifically. One example being 2,4-D, very important from the exam point of view. So spraying chemical like 2,4-D can destroy the weed specifically, but they do not affect the crop plant. That means our crop plant is safe, but weeds are specifically killed. What is the best time for weeding? Is it necessary to see the time if we want to take out these weeds from our field, or any time we can do it? So the best time for the removal of weed is before they have produced any flower or seed. That means you should not wait until weed have produced flower or seed. Similarly, if you are using chemical spray or if you are using weedicide, weedicide are to be sprayed during the vegetative growth of the weed, before flowering or the seed formation. That means vegetative period is the period until flowers or seed have not been produced by a plant. So weed removal or weedicide spray has to be done before the production of flower or seed. Is there a specific reason? Yes. The reason being, if the flower is produced, flower being the main reproductive organ of any plant, and if the seeds are produced, then these flowers and these seeds may become a reason of again growing up of the weeds. Seed, if they are already dropped in the soil, they can again become a reason of growth of the weed. So it's better to remove weed before they produce any flower or seed. During weeding or during the use of weedicide, is there any precaution that we are supposed to take? Yes, because always remember, weedicide being the chemicals, pesticide, insecticide, rodenticide, weedicides, they are all chemical. So they are definitely helping us in removing the weeds from our field, but the person handling them must cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth. It is recommended that they should wear a bodysuit. They should try to keep the spray away from their face and body. So they are toxic for the person handling them, and there are chances that they can breathe this toxin inside their body. So the most important precaution which is associated with the use of weedicide is that covering of face and mouth, nose are very, very important. Now, what are some ways of controlling pest and disease? Inside a crop plant, inside a field, weed can be one thing that can be seen along with the crop plant, and they are affecting our crop plant in a negative way. But a standing crop can also be attacked by the small insect, and these insects can attack the plant stem, leaf, flower, grain, or any other part of plant. Not necessarily these insects will be eating the things, but they can definitely harm the plant, and they can become the reason to spread several other plant disease. Similarly, inside a field, if we have pests like rodents, insect, then there are chances that they will eat the crop plant, and there are chances that they will contaminate the grain with their excreta. So not necessarily that every time the pest or insect are eating away the grain. Most of the time, the danger comes in the form of contamination of the grains with their excreta. Just a point to note, chemicals which are used to kill pests are known as pesticides. Insects, their larvae and their eggs are killed with the help of insecticides. Rodents like rats are killed with the help of rodenticide. And weeds are killed with the help of weedicides. So they are all component of crop protection. Now coming to what is biological control and is it better from the use of weedicide and pesticide? We have discussed some aspect of the use of weedicide and pesticide. Like we already discussed that weedicide and pesticides are chemical, hence they are poisonous. And when they are poisonous, there are chances that they can cause skin irritation and they can cause respiratory issues in the human being. Now for respiratory issue, not only the person who is handling them will be affected or any other person standing in the vicinity of the field will also get affected. Secondly, these chemicals are non-biodegradable. So they accumulate in the soil and they get absorbed by the plant. If they are getting absorbed by the plant, they will be entering our food chain. Always remember, all food chain starts with the plant being the first member. And from the plant, they can get inside animal and human. In human, they can get accumulated in the body tissue, fat tissue like adipose tissue. If they are present in the soil with heavy rainfall, they can run off the soil and from there they can enter the water body and there they will become a reason to contaminate water for the death of the marine life. Also, they can become a reason for severe complication like cancer in a long run. So the precaution associated with the use of these chemical based weedicide, pesticide are always to be taken. Coming to the biological control and in what way it is better. So the biological control is surely better than the chemical control because it uses the beneficial insects like their natural predators, parasitoid or pathogen that can control the growth of these unwanted insects, disease or many times the weed. At the same time, they do not affect the crop plant, but they are not affecting the other animals or human also. So biological control is surely better than the crop protection traditional method. Now once the crop is getting protected, once you have sprayed the chemical or the weedicide, you have saved your crop from the insect, pest and rodents. What is the next step? The standing crop in the field has to be cut down and gathered in the form of a crop. So the process of cutting and gathering crop is known as harvesting. After the crop is cut down and gathered, the grain is separated and the process is known as threshing. the grain is separated from the outer covering or the chaff by dropping it from the height. And when you are dropping it from the height, the lighter grain covering accumulate or get collected at one place, and the heavier pieces of grain are accumulated at one place. So in this way, the outer covering is separated from the grain, and the process is known as winnowing. Nowadays, we have a machine that can do work for a harvester and thresher both. The equipment is known as the combine. That means harvesting is done with the help of harvester, threshing is done with the help of thresher, and harvesting and threshing work both can be done with the help of a equipment known as combine. This is a combine that can do a work of a harvester as well as a thresher. This is a sickle that is used if you are harvesting a crop manually, and definitely it is very useful for a smaller field. So students, that's all for today. If you like it, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.